Believe it or not, my hair has taught me a lot about how to succeed in business and how to function and succeed in motherhood. Welcome back to the Style Like a Mother podcast. This week's episode is called The Missing Link: What My Hair Taught Me About Business. And this is also the first episode that is also on video. So if you want to see my beautiful face, then head to my YouTube channel. Lauren Messiah is the handle, and you can watch this podcast. Now, I don't know if this will be an ongoing trend, but for today, this episode is also on video. This episode as a whole is not what I had planned. I had a whole calendar for the month of October of every single episode that I was going to put out. I've got talking points, I've got the whole freaking thing. But I was presented with a challenge earlier this week. And the challenge was anything that I want to say no to, say yes to instead. One of the things that I definitely was saying no to was doing this podcast on video. In fact, since giving birth, I have shied away from video. One, it's just really difficult with a baby. A lot of my businesses run on video, from coaching to courses, social media content, highly unpredictable. So a lot of my content was transitioned over to audio, coaching on audio, content on audio through this podcast. I've been actively avoiding video. So since I say no to video, I'm saying yes this week to doing this on video as well. And the other no that I turned into a yes for this episode was the topic. While I was on a walk, I was thinking about my journey with my hair, growing up mixed race, and just, I mean, my hair has its own life story and personality. And I was thinking about how that experience has correlated into the way I run my business, the way that I show up as a mother. And I thought it would be something interesting to talk about. But I'm like, no, it's weird. It doesn't make sense. Who wants to hear about my hair? But since we're turning no's into yeses, here we are on video doing this off the wall topic for this week's podcast. So buckle up. I have no talking points. I would usually say no to that because I want to keep nice and organized on this podcast, but I'm saying yes instead. So buckle up. I have no freaking clue how this episode's going to go. Hopefully, it will be fun. Here we go. My hair journey. That's where we will start. I am a product of a beautiful interracial marriage. My dad is Black, my mom is part Cuban and part Caucasian. And then here's me, a mixture of all of the above. Growing up in the DMV, for those of you who don't know, that's DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I grew up in Virginia, but you have to say DMV because if you don't and you say Virginia, people start conjuring up this image of like me sitting on a bale of hay, like picking my teeth and wearing overalls and working on a farm. Although I did work on a farm, I was a camp counselor and a preschool teacher on a farm that had a little school attached to it. But that was the extent of my Virginia farming history. DMV is definitely a metropolitan area, but it's also an area, at least where I grew up and went to school, where it was predominantly white. There was not a lot of Black kids at the school. There wasn't a lot of mixed race kids at the school, and the ones that were at the school, we weren't like talking and having a meeting about what it's like growing up mixed. It's not something you talk about when you're a kid or even in high school. I don't think I started having those conversations until I was much older and understanding my identity and how having it so fragmented really impacted my life. So, because my mom is not Black and my hair came out as Black hair, like my brothers both have like a softer curl. I definitely have black girl hair. And my mom never really knew how to do my hair. She definitely did her best. She would put it in two little braids, put it in some little buns. She'd always try these different at-home treatments to like detangle and soften my hair. I have very vivid memories of my hair being covered in mayonnaise, avocado, just whatever strange remedies my mom would find in magazines. This was like far before we were looking at anything online. So my hair was always a salad. It was always a little bit messy. My mom does not have the experience with this texture of hair. So my hair has always been a struggle for me. Once I became the age where my mom could no longer, it was no longer acceptable for her to be prepping my hair for school, that was on me. And I was no better at it. I was horrible at it. So I was always going through this experience of like not figuring out how to function with my head is the only way I can put it. Like how how do I do my hair? And then, if you don't have your hair on point, it kind of throws off the whole look. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have a banging body, cute outfit, makeup popping, and the hair's crazy. It just cancel it out. You look crazy. So this was a struggle. Once I hit high school, my best friend's mom, who's black, she would sometimes take me to the hair salon. I would get like chemical relaxers, just trying to like figure this freaking hair out. And this trend continued. In college, a friend of mine, who, hello, if you're watching or listening, because we are still in each other's orbit, she was like, girl, are you going to do something with that hair? Because if not, let's give you dreadlocks. So in college, on a train ride to New York City, she gave me dreadlocks, and I had dreads for years. I had dreads throughout college. I had dreads in the years following college, like into my early 20s. And then when I got rid of my dreads, I cut them off. I had a short cut and I was back to chemical relaxers. So this has just been like an ongoing thing of I'm having an issue. I don't know how to solve it. I'm kind of going at it blind, trying everything that I can. And it's like I'll find a solution and I'll be back into problem my whole freaking life. Cut to in my mid 20s, 25 years old, I moved to Los Angeles, and now there's even less options for black hair. I mean, finding a black salon, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know any black people in Los Angeles when I first moved here. I was so freaking stuck. So I was going to white hair salons and having them try to figure out my hair. I remember I had this one guy that would do my hair, and he did a good enough job. And I remember I wanted blue hair. I wanted a short, like Rihanna, like pixie cut back in that era, whatever year that was, 2006, I don't know, 8, who knows, who cares? And I wanted that, and I wanted blue. So I had blue hair, and once my relaxer started to grow out, I just put relaxer on my hair at home. Y'all, my hair fell out. Like literally, my hair fell out. I was in tears. I was crying. It was awful. So that was like Lauren's hair's a mess. I don't know. I wore hats. Cut to a trip to the grocery store. I was at Air One and I saw this girl who had a short pixie cut and her hair was like bleach blonde. It looked so cute. So I went up to her and said, "Where did you get your hair done? It looks so cute. I don't know what to do with my hair. I haven't found anyone to help me." And she's like, "You here, go here. This guy's awesome." So this is when I started to see my hairdresser. His name was Philip. Hi, Philip, if you're listening or watching. So Philip did my hair for many, many years. And this is when, like, I was still doing relaxers. I was like doing different haircuts, pressing, black man doing my hair. It was someone that I felt safe with, someone who would teach me how to do my hair in that way. And I had a home, right? I had a home. But there was something missing. As a person who's into fashion and into reinventing herself and into showing up in different ways just based on the season I am in life. I want to do something different with my hair. And I remember like I would see Ciara and her hair would be like blonde and straight and beautiful. And then I'd see Rihanna, like suddenly she'd have like curly red hair. And then her hair would be like, straight and down past her butt and like, parted in the middle. And I was always taking these pictures to Philip and being like, how do we do this? Like, how do we do this? I want blonde, long, straight Ciara hair. And he's like, well, we can't really color your hair that much. It would just be too damaging. And I'm like, how are these women having this hair? Like, I don't understand. And y'all, I had no clue. I swear, I swear, I know. You're gonna be like, are you serious, Lauren? I did not know that those were wigs and weaves. I had no clue because I never knew. I didn't grow up having like a true black hair experience. I was always just figuring it out. And I was always like, will you help me? Will you help me? Okay, dreads. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, relaxer. I'll do it. Like, I never knew the whole picture of all of the different ways that black hair could be styled and treated. I didn't know. I didn't know that there's like team natural, and I didn't know, what you could do when your hair was relaxed and cut a certain way. I didn't know about, weaves. I knew about extensions, like white girl extensions. I had those a couple of times. I didn't know that people were wearing wigs. I thought wigs are what like old grandmas wore. I had no freaking clue. So Philip, like me and Philip would still do hair together. Like Philip is the best. Like I love Philip. But I wanted like this other look and I didn't know until someone told me. And a friend of mine who's also a mentor, she was like, Lauren, you have way too much money to be struggling this much with your hair. Like, we got to stop. Because I had still been looking around. Like, once I found out that wigs and weaves were a thing, I went on Yelp. I found someone that did weaves and wigs, and I went to their shop, and it was horrible. It was like the worst. I wish I had a picture. My current hairstylist, Kurt, he will remind me of this freaking weave that I had when I came to him. He will never let me live it down. It was the worst. It was the worst. It was the worst weave in the history of weaves. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get my Ciara hair. And it was freaking craziness, awful. And this is when my mentor was like, you have way too much money for your hair to look this crazy and for you to be struggling this much with your hair. So she gave me Kurt's information. And that's when I started my hair journey with Kurt. And we're always reinventing my hair. We're always doing different things. And now I'm playing more with my hair journey, which we'll get into later in the episode. But I give you all of that context to help prove my point on how this ties in with business and also with motherhood. It's that missing link. It's that missing link of finally I knew what was missing to get me to what I wanted. The second I knew what was missing, then I could call in the guides and the supporters that would help me see the whole picture and really get the results that I wanted. I didn't know what I didn't know. So something that had been a lifelong struggle for me of my mom doesn't know how to do my hair, I don't know how to do my hair, you know, someone will come along and be like, "Oh, I can help you with this. I'll take you somewhere to get a relaxer." Like, "Oh, I can help you, not have to deal with this and get dreads." Like, "Oh, I can help you have someone who can do a bitchin' like shortcut." But I didn't know the missing link to the big thing that I wanted, which is I wanted that like beautiful celebrity hair that I could change all the time. It's like, ooh, my mood is like curly, let's do curly. And my mood is blonde, let's do blonde. I want to have pink hair, like let's do pink hair. I didn't know what that missing link was. And if you look up the meaning of a missing link, it says a thing that is needed in order to complete a series, to provide continuity or gain complete knowledge. It was literally just knowing the fact that, wait, these girls aren't going to the salon and like cutting their hair and taking some sort of magical growth serum and then they grow their hair and then they dye it a different color. They're wearing wigs and weaves. That was the missing link. And once I found the missing link, it opened up a whole new world for me. It opened up a beautiful professional relationship and friendship with my hairstylist, Kurt. It let me play and be whoever I wanted to be at any given moment. It helped me stop struggling with my hair and wasting so much time on my hair. It would take me like hours and hours to get ready for the day and wash and blow dry and flat iron and buying all this equipment. And I'm like, I just found out this one piece of information and then everything opened up. Like, what? This is crazy. Like, this is crazy. So that moment of discovering the missing link, it's something that I use in business, and it's actually something that I'm actively calling in now is my new missing link for this next chapter of my business. Like, what is that one thing that I'm missing, and who is the guide that's going to take me there? So, tying this into business, what are some missing links that have been in my business? I feel like a lot of people who are entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs who are just starting out, you will be able to relate to this, where you see people functioning online, whether they're stylists or coaches or healers or trainers or interior decorators, like whatever it is, you see them creating the content, having all the money, having the business, having all the success. So in your mind, it's like, well, I have a business. I want to have all this success. Why isn't this working? I don't understand. It's because you're missing the missing link. So one of the things that really changed the game for me in my business as a stylist, since my styling days, I've had many other ways that I show up in business. But in those earlier days, I remember being like, okay, I'm really good at styling and I want to do this for a living. Really good at styling. I went to school for style. Why am I not working as a stylist? And I would send out resumes to like all of these different stylists and fashion magazines and places where I knew they would need a stylist. This is like way back, like before Lauren even had her career started. And it's like, why isn't anything working? Like, why is no one responding to me? Like, what is happening? And then I remember taking a class to learn how the actual styling industry worked. And that's when I discovered, like, oh, the missing link is the styling industry, and I'm talking like celebrity wardrobe, it's a very like walled off industry. And the missing link is you have to get in as like an intern or an assistant first. Like that was the missing link. And getting in as an intern and assistant and working your way up can lead you into being a key stylist and having your own business. So once I discovered the missing link, it's like, oh, my strategy completely changes. So just like the hair, where it's like, I want my hair to be long, blonde, flowing, I want Ciara hair, I want Beyonce hair. And I didn't know the missing link was, well, bitch, go get extensions. So instead, I'm just beating up my hair and not getting the proper results. Missing link, intern first. So I changed my whole entire strategy and like boom, then I'm working as a stylist. Cut to when I have a personal styling business and I'm working as a personal stylist and I'm having clients and I'm always busy, but I'm not making the money that I want to be making. The missing link for me was marketing. I didn't understand marketing and sales. I thought you're a good stylist, you dress well, you hustle hard, you'll get some clients, you'll make some money. But to actually scale the business and have it work, I'm like, oh, marketing. So the missing link for me was finding new mentors, guides, coaches, courses that talked about marketing, sales, scaling. And then all of a sudden, like, boom, the missing link has been revealed. And now I can actually get closer to the results. In motherhood, I think a lot of the missing links aren't always shared online. So people see these moms that are crushing it. It's like they're taking, their kid to the soccer game and they're making like beautiful Pinterest worthy lunches and they look freaking fantastic. And the missing link is they have like an army of people helping them. So it's like, oh, okay, well, if I had the missing link, then there's this. For me, I knew what that missing link was, but I wasn't interested in that missing link. So I had to kind of create my own link, but knowing that doing the link differently could possibly alter the results, like you're creating something new. But we have to approach things having all the information. And sometimes we simply don't have all the information. But if you change the question to start asking for all of the information versus just beating your head up against the wall, trying to cut to the solution, then everything changes. If I knew, and it's like, would you tell the story and you look back at it, you're like, Lauren, were you like a bonehead? Like what the hell was going on? But there's all of this like imposter syndrome and feeling like you should already know that hinders you from discovering that link. Why didn't I just ask someone, hey, like, how does Rihanna get her hair like this? Because mine is it's not doing that. I'm confused. If I just asked, someone would be like, yo, dude, that's not her hair. I'd be like, what? I know the link. I can cut to the solution. Okay, let me find the hairstylist that knows how to do stuff like this so I can have hair like that. The end. But we don't do that because we think, well, I should already know this or I should be able to figure this out. It's the same thing in style where clients will be reluctant to hire a personal stylist because they think that they should already know this. So they know what they want. They want to have great style. They know right now they don't have style. The only links that they know, which aren't the missing links, it's just the little puzzle pieces they already have, are I should make a Pinterest board. I should go shopping. I should take the time to put together cute little outfits and then they don't get the results. The missing link was you don't know your style personality, you don't know your body type, you don't know the brands, you don't know where to shop. The missing link, the guide there could just be a stylist who would be like, girl, I'll just shortcut you. Like, let me just tell you how this works, and then we'll go over here and get your results. It's the person that starts a business and they're like, okay, I started a business. I want results to be able to quit my job and make all this money and be fabulous. And you're just going to beat your head up against the wall. Like, okay, what do businesses have? They have websites, they have social media, they have a package, they have brand photos. Why isn't this working? Well, you're missing the missing link. You need to know how to actually run a business. You need the framework, you need sales, you need marketing, you need a coach, you need a mentor. You hit the missing link, boom, all of a sudden you have the results. You want to mom it up? Cool, I'm a mom. I have a baby. I want to be super mom who, has her business and her baby and all of these things. Why isn't it working? Well, here's the missing link. You can't do all of the things. So you're going to have to pick some things that you're not going to do, and you're going to have to manage your expectations of what happens over here. So in motherhood, for example, I am a mom and an entrepreneur. I want the result to be still a full-time mom and still a full-time entrepreneur. The missing link, nanny, no. Daycare, no thank you. So the missing link for me is, baby, you're not sleeping very much. And you're sacrificing a lot of free time so you can have both things. All right, I'm cool with that link. But when you don't know, you just go crazy. And then you start, looking at people online. Well, Lauren spends all day with her kid and she still has her business and clients are still coming in. And I see her, making new products and da 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 da. What am I doing wrong? Well, you're not paying attention to that little missing link where Lauren wakes up at 5 a.m. and works her ass off until the baby wakes up. And then she hangs with the baby all day, coaches students while she's got a baby on her boob, and then she works all night and then makes dinner and hangs out with her family. And she's always exhausted, but she doesn't care because she loves her business and her baby. You got to see the missing link. You got to see that this year in business is not my best year ever in business. It's not. That was the missing link. I'm willing to sacrifice climbing, climbing, climbing to have some time with my baby while I figure out how to have both the best year ever and the best year with the baby ever. But we've got to see what's missing. What's missing. So, how do you figure it out? Ask, ask, ask. Stop looking at other people and wondering what's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You just haven't gained the complete knowledge. You haven't seen the full picture to figure out what piece of information you're actually missing. So ask. And if you're like, well, who do I ask? I don't know. Ask God. Pray about it. Journal about it. Ask the universe. Call it in. Say, dude, what am I missing? Because sometimes it will just dink. It will just smack you in the little head and you'll be able to figure it out. And then you'll be able to call in the level of support that's going to get you there. I know that, out of the students that I work with, the ones that immediately identified the missing link was like, okay, the missing link is I have no sense of accountability. Not only do I need your program, I need you to coach me too, because you're the missing link. You have all the information that I don't have. You're going to cut me to the front of the line, and I'm going to have the success. And then there's the other ones that are like, I'll wait till next time. I'll figure it out. What YouTube video can I watch? Can I binge all of your, podcast episodes or YouTube videos and figure it out? Dude, the missing link is you don't have all the information and you could have just got it and got your ass to the success that you want. Stop buying the crappy clothes that you know don't work. Just cut the line, get the missing link. Ask a stylist and figure out your body type. You need to know your colors, like whatever. Cut the crap. Get the link. Okay? So that's kind of the lesson that I want to teach in this week's episode. I'll kind of end the episode with something completely unrelated, but semi-related because it's about hair. And I just feel like we should round out the hair journey because why the hell not? Like I said, this episode has no plan. The plan was whatever I was going to say no to, I said yes to instead. So here we are. So, in terms of my hair journey, postpartum, listen, postpartum is freaking wild. Like this joint is wild and it's wild in a good way. And I feel like I'm going to do a future episode on this because this has been on my mind that the longer we sit in misery and talking about how hard and impossible things are, it's just we're just punishing ourselves. Like the longer we do that, the longer we punish ourselves. But when we can actually embrace the parts that suck and just get over it and move on, there's so much beauty in it. So, related to what we talked to today, you can either be like, I can't figure it out, I can't figure it out, and just stay there, or be like, dude, this sucks, I can't figure it out. Let me just get into like a positive state, and then maybe I'll be able to figure some shit out, right? So postpartum has been a trip, not to go too much on a side tangent. It's been a trip where I'm relearning myself and like being more okay with myself. My body's not the same. Nothing's the same. Like nothing's the same. It's like everything's the same, but nothing's the same. So I've been having to get okay with myself. And one of the things that I have been feeling is being more okay with my hair. Now, mind you, my hair is not this long, but all of this, it looks like there's some little grays coming back. I just colored this. But being okay with not hiding behind like all the extensions and the weaves and the wigs is being like free to be me. So the last hair that I had before this was pink. I wanted to have black and pink. The pink shade that we got was not the pink shade that I was trying for, but it's the one that came. So I had the pink, and then just one day, I was like, oh my God, it feels so heavy. It feels like I have like 1,000 pounds on me. Like I can't even explain it because literally for the past 8 years, I've been in, hair extensions, sew-ins, but I felt like 1,000 pounds was on me. And I was like, I have to get it off. And I had like 3 or 4 days until my next hair appointment, but I could not wait. So I had the girl who works at the salon, she washes hair, but she's also a braider. No Yoji, dogs barking at the door. It's like the good old days of creating content in my office. So I called her and I go, I can't wear this pink hair. I need it out. Like, get it out and just give me like a temporary, like cornrows, and that will last me a couple of days and I'll get back in the salon and get my new install. She's like, sure. So she comes over and she does a house call. So Onyx is with me while we're doing my hair. It was great. And she put in these cornrows and I felt so free. I felt so free. I'm like, oh my God, I can feel my scalp and I can see my face. And normally I would not be into a hairstyle like this. It's not like I've never wore it before. I wore cornrows when I was pregnant because my hairstylist was on tour with a big celebrity doing their hair. But I felt like a boy. I don't know. It just like didn't feel me. But for the first time, I'm like, I feel like me. Like I feel free. I feel okay. Like the extra pounds that I'm carrying, specifically around my middle, this freaking postpartum pooch, the hair, even though there's like grays, and like I just felt free. So I don't know. Like I could change my mind in 2 weeks and totally have a different hair. I could be back to the extensions. I don't know. But I feel like since seeing the whole picture and really riding through that whole journey of my hair, from seeing all the possibilities for myself and getting to know myself more throughout that whole entire hair journey, has brought me to a place where I feel okay. Like I feel okay to not hide behind hair. Like I feel okay just to be myself. So we'll see where that goes. I have no freaking clue, but I thought it was worth sharing to round out that hair journey. And I will encourage all of you who are listening to figure out, where is it that you want to go? If we don't know the destination, we all know where we're starting. Like that one's easy. I'm a new mom and I'm struggling to figure it out. I'm a new business owner and I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. My hair sucks and I don't know what to do. My wardrobe sucks. I don't know what to do. Like, whatever that starting point is for you, we know that part. We don't need to talk about that very much. But the end point, where do we want to go? Do you want beautiful hair that you can change out every 6 weeks? Do you want an awesome wardrobe where you feel totally aligned? Do you want to be a full-time mom? What do you want? What do you want? You want to be a business owner? You want to freaking crush it? You want to make millions of dollars? What is it that you want? That's going to help you identify what could possibly be missing. So once you figure out what you want, I want you to send it out there, whether that means, praying, meditating, asking your network, posting on social media, like, yo, DMing someone like, hey, how did you get to like point A to Z? You don't have to tell me the whole thing, but like, could you let me know like what's going on here? You'll see people that are having like multi-million dollar launches, and you're like, what? My launches don't look like that. Y'all, they have like a gang of freaking ads. They have an ad budget that's out of control. Facebook ads are their missing link. You're like, oh, that's why. Oh, okay. Figure out where you want to go, ask what your missing piece is. Once that missing piece clinks, then ask for the guide or the next right step, the next right action to close in so you can finally see the whole picture. And that is what's going to get you to that end result that you're looking for. So, there's the episode. There is the episode that was supposed to be a no, but turned out to be a yes. I hope you enjoyed it and stick around because I will be back next week with another episode of the Style Like a Mother podcast.